There are moments in life when you'll feel the whole world has turned its back on you, when silence is louder than screams, and your reflection is your only witness. Those moments aren't weaknesses. They are invitations to rise. You see, strength isn't built when you're surrounded by applause. It's built when you're alone, grinding in the shadows, bleeding in silence, and pushing forward when no one's watching. People will doubt you, ignore you, even laugh at you. But solitude is a gift. It separates the average from the absolute. When you're alone, there are no distractions. There are no lies. Just raw, brutal truth staring back at you. That's where greatness begins, not in comfort, but in chaos. Stop begging for validation. Stop waiting for help. Stand up, look in the mirror, and understand you are the army, you are the fire. Pain will come good. That means you're alive. That means you're being forged. When you walk alone with purpose, you're unstoppable. No crowd, no applause, just a mission. And that's when you're most dangerous. Embrace solo strength. It's not punishment. It's preparation. Let the silence build you into something no one saw coming. Solitude reveals your true power. Embrace it. Don't fear it. This is a truth that few dare to face. Yet it is the cornerstone of every champion, every legend, every person who has ever risen beyond their circumstances. Solitude is not loneliness. Loneliness is a feeling, a state of mind often filled with desperation and weakness. Solitude, on the other hand, is a powerful tool, a sacred space where you confront your deepest self and forge an unbreakable spirit. It is in those quiet moments, away from the noise of the world, the distractions of crowds, and the comfort of approval, that you discover who you really are. You peel back every layer of pretense, every mask worn for others, and stand face to face with raw, unfiltered truth. When you find yourself alone, it's easy to feel lost or overwhelmed. But those feelings are the very signals that you are at the threshold of transformation. Solitude forces you to rely on no one but yourself. It strips away the crutches of constant validation and companionship. No one is there to cheer you on, to tell you you're doing a good job, or to shield you from failure. It's just you. This moment can be terrifying because it exposes your weaknesses, fears, and doubts, but it is also the moment when you find your greatest strength. You begin to understand that the power to change your life, to control your destiny, has always been in your own hands. No one else holds the key. No one else will carry you. And that realization, though daunting, is liberating. Embracing solitude means embracing responsibility for yourself. It means no longer blaming circumstances, other people, or luck. It means stepping into the arena alone, ready to fight your battles without an army. When you do that, something incredible happens. You grow tougher, more resilient, and more focused. You learn to listen to your inner voice, the one that doesn't care about what anyone else thinks, the one that knows your real desires and fears. That voice becomes your compass. It guides you through storms when everything else fails. It drives you forward when the world tries to pull you back. Most people run from solitude because it demands honesty. It demands that you face your failures without excuses. It demands that you confront the parts of yourself you've hidden away, the doubts, the insecurities, the moments when you weren't strong enough. But avoiding solitude only prolongs weakness. It traps you in cycles of dependence and distraction, where you seek comfort in others' opinions rather than building your own foundation. To truly become powerful, you must embrace solitude as a time of growth, not punishment. In solitude, you become your own teacher and your own challenger. You push yourself beyond limits you never thought possible because you have no one to bail you out. No one is there to soften the blow or carry the weight for you. Every failure is yours to own, and every victory is yours to celebrate. This builds a type of self-confidence that cannot be shaken by external forces because it is born from experience, not from shallow praise or empty compliments. There is a brutal honesty in solitude that the crowd never allows. When you're surrounded by others, it's easy to put on a show, to hide your struggles, to convince yourself that everything is fine, but alone, the mask falls away. You must look in the mirror and accept what you see, and once you do, you gain the power to change it. Solitude reveals the truth of your habits, your mindset, and your commitment. It shows where you've been weak and where you've been strong. This clarity is priceless. Without it, you remain stuck in illusions and excuses. Embracing solitude also teaches discipline. When no one is watching, no one expects you to be productive. No one pressures you to perform. The temptation to give up, to fall into comfort, to procrastinate is immense. But if you can discipline yourself in solitude, if you can push through the laziness, the fear, the pain, then you build a habit of excellence that no external challenge can break. This is where true champions are made. The work done in silence, away from the applause, is the foundation for unstoppable success. Moreover, solitude sharpens your focus. In a world filled with distraction, social media, noise, constant connection, solitude is a rare chance to clear your mind and channel your energy. When you learn to be comfortable alone, you learn to block out the irrelevant, to concentrate on what truly matters. Your goals become clearer, your purpose stronger. The clarity you gain in solitude is a weapon in the chaos of everyday life. It helps you avoid the traps of comparison, envy, and distraction that so many fall into. Another crucial aspect of embracing solitude is learning self-love and acceptance. When you're alone, you cannot escape yourself. This forces you to cultivate kindness toward your own flaws, patience with your own progress, and respect for your own journey. Self-love isn't about arrogance or ego. It's about recognizing your worth even when the world doesn't. It's about being your own biggest supporter when no one else is around. This inner love creates a foundation of confidence that no setback or criticism can shake. Solitude also breeds creativity and innovation. When you step away from the influence of others' opinions and conventional thinking, your mind is free to explore new ideas, new ways of being, and new strategies for success. Many of history's greatest breakthroughs were born in moments of isolation, when individuals dared to think differently away from the crowd. By embracing solitude, you tap into that creative power within yourself. You stop copying and start creating. You stop following and start leading. It's important to remember that embracing solitude doesn't mean rejecting human connection forever. Rather, it means learning to stand strong on your own first, so that when you do connect with others, it's from a place of strength, not neediness. When you are comfortable alone, relationships become choices, not dependencies. Or you no longer rely on others to validate your worth or define your happiness. Instead, you bring your whole self to the table, strong, confident, and independent. In the end, solitude is the proving ground of strength. It is where you shed the layers of doubt and distraction and reveal the iron core within you. It is where you learn that the most powerful person in your life is not your friend, partner, or mentor. It is you. This truth is liberating, terrifying, and beautiful all at once. To embrace solitude is to embrace the journey of becoming unstoppable, unbreakable, and unapologetically you. Don't fear it. Don't avoid it. Welcome it. In the silence and stillness of being alone, you will discover a power so fierce, so relentless that nothing in this world can stand against it. That is your true power. That is your legacy. Greatness is forged in discomfort, not praise. This is a fundamental truth that separates those who achieve extraordinary success from those who settle for mediocrity. The world often sells us the illusion that recognition, applause, and validation are the signs of achievement, that greatness comes from external approval. But the reality is far harsher, far more demanding. True greatness is born in the fires of struggle, in the relentless grind when no one is watching, when pain is your only companion and praise is nowhere to be found. It is in the uncomfortable moments, the failures, the sacrifices, the long nights of doubt, that greatness takes shape. It does not grow in comfort zones or in the warmth of easy praise. It grows in challenge, in adversity, and in relentless effort. Discomfort is the raw material of transformation. When you push yourself beyond what feels easy or natural, you enter a space where growth happens. This space is often lonely, exhausting, and intimidating because it strips away all the things that keep you comfortable. The body aches, the mind resists, and the heart fears failure. But this resistance is not the enemy. It is the signal that you are breaking through your old limits. Every champion, every icon, every person who has reached the peak of their field has had to embrace discomfort as a necessary part of the process. They didn't wait for the crowd's approval before pushing harder. They didn't seek praise before sacrificing sleep, comfort, or pleasure. They accepted pain and discomfort as their constant allies. Praise is fleeting, external, and unreliable. It depends on others' opinions, moods, and perspectives. It can be generous one day and absent the next. Relying on praise to motivate you is like trying to sail a ship by following the wind. It changes direction, leaving you vulnerable and off course. In contrast, discomfort is constant and consistent. It is always present when you are pushing your boundaries. Learning to find comfort in discomfort means you take control of your own progress. You become immune to the ups and downs of external validation because your drive comes from within, fueled by a deeper purpose and a relentless commitment to excellence. When you face discomfort head on, you develop resilience. Resilience is the ability to withstand pressure, to keep moving forward even when the path is steep and rocky. It's what separates those who quit at the first sign of difficulty from those who keep going until they win. Discomfort sharpens your mental toughness. It teaches you to endure pain, to accept setbacks, and to keep your eyes on the prize no matter what. Praise by itself cannot build this toughness because it never forces you to confront your limits. It never demands sacrifice. It only feels good in the moment, but leaves you vulnerable when challenges arise. The journey to greatness is paved with countless moments of discomfort. It might be the grind of early mornings and late nights, the constant rejection and criticism, or the fear of failure that gnaws at your confidence. It might be the loneliness of working when everyone else is resting, or the frustration of slow progress when you expected quick results. These moments are the forging fires that shape your character, your skills, and your mindset. Without them, greatness remains a distant dream. With them, greatness becomes inevitable. Discomfort also teaches humility and self-awareness. When you're pushed to your limits, you see your weaknesses clearly. You confront your flaws, your bad habits, and your doubts. This clarity is painful, but necessary. It forces you to adapt, improve, and become better. Praise, on the other hand, often blinds you to these truths. It can create complacency, a false sense of security, and a reliance on external approval rather than internal standards. Those who seek praise constantly risk becoming fragile, dependent on others' opinions instead of building their own foundation of strength. Another crucial aspect of discomfort is that it fosters innovation and creativity. When everything is easy, predictable, and comfortable, there is little reason to change or improve. Discomfort shakes you out of complacency. It pushes you to find new solutions, to develop new skills, and to think differently. The discomfort of failure or struggle becomes a catalyst for innovation because it forces you to adapt or perish. Every breakthrough in history, whether in science, art, business, or sports, has come from someone who refused to accept the status quo and embrace the discomfort of trying something new, something difficult, something uncertain. Greatness is also a long game, and discomfort is the fuel that sustains you over time. Praise can be intoxicating, but is often short-lived. It can create spikes of motivation that quickly fade when the applause dies down. Discomfort, however, builds endurance. It teaches patience and persistence. It shows you that success is not about a single moment of glory, but about consistent effort through the hard days, the setbacks, and the grind. Those who embrace discomfort understand that greatness is earned through daily commitment, not instant recognition. Importantly, embracing discomfort requires a shift in mindset. You must redefine how you see pain, struggle, and sacrifice. Instead of viewing them as obstacles or punishments, you must see them as signs that you are on the right path. Every uncomfortable moment is proof that you are stretching, growing, and moving forward. This mindset turns discomfort into a source of motivation rather than fear. It turns hardship into a badge of honor rather than a mark of failure. When you reframe discomfort this way, you unlock a level of motivation and focus that no amount of praise can provide. It's also worth noting that discomfort builds confidence, not the shallow, fragile confidence that depends on others' approval, but deep, unshakable confidence. When you know you have endured hardship, faced fears, and kept going despite pain, you develop a belief in yourself that cannot be broken. This kind of confidence is powerful because it is rooted in experience and results, not in external validation. It makes you fearless in the face of criticism, rejection, or failure because you've already faced the worst and come out stronger. Many people avoid discomfort at all costs. They seek comfort, approval, and easy wins. They chase praise like it's the ultimate goal, but this approach only leads to stagnation. Without discomfort, growth is impossible. Without struggle, strength cannot develop. Without sacrifice, greatness remains out of reach. The path to excellence is never comfortable, and anyone who promises otherwise is selling a lie. Greatness demands that you embrace the grind, the struggle, and the pain. It demands that you keep working when the spotlight is off and the crowd is silent. It demands that you choose long-term success over short-term comfort. The moments when you feel most uncomfortable are the moments when you are becoming stronger, wiser, and closer to your goals. Those moments define you more than any applause ever will. When you accept this truth, You take ownership of your journey. You stop seeking praise as a sign of progress and start seeking discomfort as a sign of growth. You become relentless in your pursuit, knowing that every challenge is a step closer to greatness. You build a mindset that thrives in adversity, that finds fuel in pain, and that refuses to settle for anything less than extraordinary. Greatness is forged in discomfort because discomfort demands everything from you. And in return, it gives you everything you need to succeed. It strips away weakness, excuses, and distractions. It reveals your true character and tests your resolve. It shapes you into someone who is not just good, not just successful, but truly great. So don't shy away from discomfort. Don't wish for easier paths or quicker praise. Instead, lean into the struggle. Embrace the pain. Accept the challenge. Because it is through discomfort that you become unstoppable, unbreakable, and legendary. Don't chase approval, create results. This is a principle that few truly grasp in their journey toward success, but it is one of the most powerful shifts you can make in your mindset. Society conditions us from an early age to seek approval, whether from parents, teachers, peers, or the broader culture. We're taught that fitting in, being liked, and earning praise are the keys to happiness and success. But in reality, chasing approval is a trap that keeps you stuck in mediocrity, dependent on others' opinions, and unable to unleash your full potential. True power and achievement come not from seeking validation, but from delivering undeniable results. When you shift your focus from approval to results, you step into a different league altogether. Chasing approval means you are giving away your power to others. You become a reflection of what they want to see, a performer on a stage you don't control. Your decisions, your actions, and even your self-worth become dependent on external validation. This is dangerous because people's opinions are unpredictable, subjective, and often influenced by factors completely unrelated to your abilities or value. One day you might be celebrated, the next ignored or criticized. This roller coaster of approval is exhausting and unstable. It leaves you vulnerable to manipulation, disappointment, and self-doubt. When your identity hinges on what others think, you never develop true confidence or clarity about your own path. Creating results, on the other hand, is an act of ownership. It means you stop looking outward for approval and start looking inward for purpose and execution. Results are objective. They don't care about opinions or feelings. They are the concrete proof of your effort, skill, and persistence. When you focus on producing real outcomes, whether in business, fitness, relationships, or any area of life, you build an unshakable foundation for success. Results speak louder than words, and they command respect without the need for approval. People can't argue with success that's tangible and visible. When you chase approval, you often dilute your vision and compromise your standards to fit into what others expect or desire. This leads to inconsistency, lack of focus, and a diluted version of your true potential. You might alter your style, your goals, or your message to please different groups, trying to be liked by everyone but resonating with no one. This approach is not sustainable. It's exhausting to constantly adapt to others' expectations, and it ultimately stifles innovation and boldness. True results come from clarity of vision, consistency of effort, and the courage to stand firm in your own standards, even if that means risking disapproval. Creating results requires discipline and relentless execution. It demands that you set clear goals, develop a plan, and put in the work every single day, regardless of whether anyone is watching or applauding. This kind of commitment is rare because it's uncomfortable. It means pushing through doubts, distractions, and setbacks without the crutch of external validation. But it's exactly this discomfort that builds resilience and separates those who succeed from those who don't. Results are the product of this sustained effort, and they become the ultimate form of approval, one that you earn, not beg for. When you focus on creating results, you also cultivate self-respect and internal confidence. You learn to trust your ability to make things happen, to solve problems, and to overcome obstacles. This internal validation is far more powerful and lasting than fleeting praise. It empowers you to take risks, to innovate, and to lead. It gives you the strength to stand alone if necessary, because you know your value isn't tied to others' opinions, but to what you produce. This mindset creates leaders and pioneers who change industries, inspire movements, and break barriers. Another important aspect of creating results is that it naturally attracts the right kind of attention and respect. When you deliver consistent, high-quality outcomes, people notice. Doors open, opportunities arise, and networks grow. Not because you're trying to impress, but because your work speaks for itself. This kind of respect is earned and sustainable. It's based on merit, not manipulation or superficial charm. And unlike approval, it can't be taken away by a change of opinion or circumstance. This is why the most successful people often have thick skin and rarely seek approval. They know their results are their true currency. Chasing approval can also lead to fear of failure because every mistake feels like a potential loss of acceptance. This fear can paralyze action and creativity. When your priority is creating results instead, failure becomes just another step in the process. It becomes a source of feedback, learning, and growth, rather than a threat to your self-worth. This shift in mindset unleashes boldness and experimentation, which are essential for breakthrough success. Results-driven people understand that failure is not the end, but a necessary part of the journey toward excellence. It's important to recognize that creating results doesn't mean ignoring feedback or shutting yourself off from others. It means filtering input through your own vision and standards, rather than letting it dictate your worth or direction. Constructive criticism and support are valuable tools for improvement, but they should never replace your internal drive or cloud your clarity. When you are focused on results, you actively seek out what helps you improve and discard what distracts or diminishes your progress. This selective approach keeps you aligned and effective. In personal relationships, the difference between chasing approval and creating results is just as significant. Seeking approval from others can lead to codependency, insecurity, and emotional exhaustion. You try to mold yourself into what others want instead of being authentic. Creating results in relationships means showing up with honesty, integrity, and effort. It means being dependable, communicating clearly, and building trust through actions, not just words. When you deliver these results, you create meaningful connections based on respect and authenticity, not on the fragile need to be liked. Ultimately, don't chase approval. Create results because results define your reality, your legacy, and your impact. Approval is an external echo that fades. Results are the foundation that lasts. When you commit to producing results, you empower yourself to rise above the noise of opinions, distractions, and doubts. You become a force of nature, focused and unstoppable. You gain the freedom to live life on your own terms and to build something truly extraordinary. The path is clear. Focus on what you can control. Your effort, your skills, your persistence. Let go of the need for approval from others and concentrate on delivering value, making progress, and achieving goals. When you do this, approval will no longer be a necessity, but a byproduct, a bonus. Your results will speak volumes and open doors you never imagined. So stop seeking permission to be great. Stop waiting for someone to say you're good enough. Take action, produce results, and watch how your life transforms. That is the ultimate power. Self-reliance driven by results, not approval. When you rely on no one, you control everything. This simple yet profound statement holds a truth that can transform the way you live, work, and approach challenges. At its core, it's about taking full ownership of your life, your decisions, and your destiny. It means building a mindset and lifestyle where your success, happiness, and well-being do not depend on others, where you stand unshakable because your foundation is your own strength. Relying on no one isn't about isolation or cutting yourself off from support. It's about cultivating independence so deep that external circumstances or people cannot derail you. When you achieve this level of self-reliance, you gain a kind of control and freedom that few ever experience. Dependence on others, whether emotional, financial, or professional, puts power in their hands. When you rely on someone else for your validation, your income, or your opportunities, you give them leverage over your life. This leverage can be subtle, a critical word, a withdrawal of support, a change in attitude, or it can be blatant and devastating, like betrayal or abandonment. No matter the form, dependence creates vulnerability. It makes you reactive, constantly adjusting to others' whims and expectations rather than driving your own course. This reactive state is exhausting and limiting. It means you are never truly free because your stability is tied to factors outside your control. On the other hand, when you rely on no one, you eliminate that vulnerability. You become the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. You make decisions based on your own values, goals, and judgment rather than seeking permission or approval. This doesn't mean you ignore advice or reject collaboration. It means you don't hinge your outcomes or self-worth on others. You are responsible for your success and failure alike, which is incredibly empowering. With this mindset, setbacks become challenges you can overcome because you trust your ability to navigate them. Opportunities become yours to seize because you are ready and capable, not because someone handed them to you. Control comes from self-sufficiency. This involves developing a range of skills: emotional resilience, financial literacy, problem-solving ability, and discipline. When you have these tools, you don't panic when circumstances shift or support disappears. Instead, You adapt, improvise, and continue moving forward. For example, financial independence frees you from the pressure of relying on a paycheck, a business partner, or external investors. Emotional independence allows you to stay calm and clear-headed when others judge or criticize you. Practical skills give you the confidence to handle unexpected problems without flinching. This self-sufficiency is the backbone of control because it means you can handle whatever life throws at you without being tossed about by external forces. Another critical element is mindset. When you rely on no one, you cultivate a mindset of ownership and accountability. You stop blaming others for your failures or setbacks because you understand that ultimately you are in charge. This mindset creates a powerful internal locus of control, which psychologists link to greater motivation, resilience, and success. People with an internal locus of control believe their actions determine their outcomes, and they take proactive steps to shape their reality. This belief fuels persistence and grit because when you see yourself as the driver, you refuse to give up or settle for less. You keep pushing forward because failure isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a lesson on your path to mastery. Relying on no one also sharpens your decision-making skills. When you depend heavily on others, you can become indecisive or hesitant, always waiting for advice, approval, or reassurance. This dependence slows you down and weakens your confidence. But when you know you must stand on your own, you learn to trust yourself more deeply. You develop clarity about what you want and how to get it. You make decisions quickly and decisively because you understand that you alone must live with the consequences. This decisiveness breeds momentum, and momentum breeds success. Control is not just about managing outcomes, but about moving forward relentlessly toward your goals, undeterred by fear or doubt. The freedom that comes from relying on no one is also invaluable. When you are not beholden to others, you can set your own terms in life. You choose who you associate with, what work you do, and how you spend your time. You don't have to tolerate toxic relationships, unfair bosses, or limiting circumstances because you have the strength to walk away and create something better. This freedom fuels creativity and innovation because you're not constrained by others' expectations or agendas. You can take risks, experiment, and forge your own path. This kind of autonomy is rare and precious, and it leads to a life that is authentic and fulfilling. It's important to clarify that relying on no one does not mean you reject help or refuse to collaborate. Human beings are social creatures, and cooperation is often essential to achieving big goals. But the key difference is the source of your foundation. When you rely on no one, help becomes a bonus, not a necessity. You can accept support when it aligns with your vision, but you never depend on it for your survival or success. This distinction protects you from disappointment and keeps you strong when help is not available. You remain the constant factor in your life's equation, the unchanging force that drives progress. Relying on no one also means developing emotional independence. This is the ability to manage your emotions and maintain stability, regardless of external validation or rejection. When you tie your happiness or self-worth to others' approval, you give them power over your emotional state. This makes you vulnerable to manipulation and leaves you at the mercy of others' moods. Emotional independence allows you to stay centered and focused, even when faced with criticism, isolation, or failure. It builds inner peace and confidence, which are essential for long-term success and fulfillment. Furthermore, when you rely on no one, you become a problem solver. Instead of waiting for someone else to fix your issues or provide answers, you take initiative. You develop creativity and resourcefulness because you understand that your well-being depends on your ability to adapt and overcome. This proactive approach creates a sense of control that spills over into all areas of life. Challenges become opportunities, obstacles become lessons, and setbacks become setups for comebacks. You no longer feel like a victim of circumstance, but a warrior in charge of your own destiny. In relationships, relying on no one means you bring your full self to the table without neediness or dependency. You value connection, but don't require it to validate your existence. This kind of independence fosters healthier, more balanced relationships because it removes the pressure of codependency and insecurity. When both parties rely on themselves first, they come together out of choice and strength, creating partnerships built on respect, trust, and mutual growth rather than need or desperation. When you rely on no one, you control everything because you own your power, your choices, and your life. You are no longer a passenger reacting to external forces, but the driver steering your course with intention and confidence. This control creates freedom, resilience, and peace of mind that no amount of external validation can provide. It is the ultimate form of empowerment, being unshakable because your foundation is your own strength and self-reliance. When you reach this place, you become unstoppable, able to create, conquer, and thrive in any circumstance. This is the essence of true control. Pain is proof you're still in the fight. Use it. It's a raw, undeniable signal from your body and mind that you haven't given up, that you're still pushing, still striving, still battling against the odds. Pain is often seen as a weakness, something to avoid or numb. But the truth is, pain is one of the most powerful indicators of life and progress. It means you're engaged, that you're moving beyond comfort, that you're challenging yourself. If there's no pain, there's usually no growth. The moment you stop feeling pain, you either stop trying or you gave up. Pain is the evidence that you have not quit. It's the mark of a warrior who refuses to surrender. To harness pain is to embrace the fight itself, turning what many see as a liability into your greatest asset. When pain hits, it triggers a natural instinct to back off, to retreat, to protect yourself. That reaction is deeply human and understandable. But those who rise above the average see pain differently. They recognize it as a call to arms, a test of character and will. Instead of letting pain break them, they use it as fuel to push harder, dig deeper, and prove their resilience. Pain sharpens focus and intensifies determination. It strips away distractions and excuses because it demands your full attention. It forces you to confront your limits and decide whether to be defeated or to transcend them. Every champion, every successful person has a story of pain, physical, emotional, mental, that mark their journey. Pain is the common thread linking all extraordinary achievements. When muscles ache after a grueling workout, that pain is a signal that your body is rebuilding stronger. When your mind wrestles with failure or rejection, that pain is the furnace forging your mental toughness. When your heart breaks, that pain opens the door to deeper empathy, growth, and self-awareness. Ignoring or fearing pain leads to stagnation. Embracing it leads to transformation. Pain also reveals the stakes of your journey. It shows that what you're fighting for matters deeply. If there was no pain, it would mean you were coasting, not truly invested. Pain means you care enough to sacrifice, to suffer, and to persist despite difficulty. It means you have something valuable on the line, your dreams, your goals, your values, and you're willing to endure hardship to protect and achieve them. Pain is the price of ambition and commitment. Those who try to avoid it often fail to reach the heights they desire because greatness demands sacrifice. Using pain effectively means shifting your mindset. You must stop viewing pain as an enemy and start seeing it as a teacher. Every pang, every ache, every moment of discomfort carries a lesson. Pain forces you to evaluate your limits, to identify weaknesses, and to find new strategies. It is feedback from your body and mind, guiding you to adapt and improve. Those who listen to pain carefully gain an edge because they don't just push blindly, they push intelligently. They learn when to rest, when to adjust, and when to go harder. Pain becomes a guidepost on the path to mastery. Moreover, pain builds resilience, the ability to bounce back stronger after setbacks. Resilience is a muscle that grows only when tested under pressure. The more pain you endure and overcome, the tougher you become. This toughness isn't just physical, but mental and emotional. It creates confidence and courage because you know you've survived hardships before and can survive them again. This confidence enables you to face future challenges without fear or hesitation. Pain, when embraced, breeds invincibility of spirit. Pain also has a way of focusing your energy. When life feels easy and painless, it's easy to get distracted, complacent, or lazy. Pain demands your attention and forces you into action. It cuts through the noise and pushes you to prioritize what truly matters. This intense focus is crucial for achieving difficult goals. Without pain, it's easy to settle for less or procrastinate. With pain, your resolve hardens. You become unstoppable because your desire to overcome it becomes stronger than the discomfort itself. Additionally, pain connects you to a deeper sense of purpose. When you experience pain in pursuit of a goal, it reminds you why you started and what you're fighting for. Pain sharpens your vision and strengthens your motivation. It's a constant reminder that your journey is real, that it has meaning, and that giving up would mean wasting all you've endured. This connection to purpose sustains you through the darkest moments when quitting seems like the easiest option. It fuels perseverance and grit. Pain also teaches humility and patience. It shows you that progress is rarely linear or easy. It breaks down arrogance and forces you to respect the process. Sometimes pain means slowing down, healing, or reevaluating your approach. This humility prevents burnout and injury and ensures sustainable growth. Patience learned through pain helps you endure long battles and setbacks without losing heart. This balance of pushing hard and knowing when to rest is essential for long-term success. Furthermore, pain unites people. When you face pain alongside others, whether in training, work, or life struggles, it creates bonds of trust and respect. Shared pain breaks down barriers and fosters solidarity. It builds teams and communities that support each other's growth and success. Pain teaches empathy because when you've suffered, you understand others' struggles better. This empathy makes you a stronger leader and a more compassionate human being. It's important to remember that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Pain will come whether you like it or not, but how you respond to pain is within your control. You can let it defeat you, or you can use it to elevate you. Choosing to use pain means adopting a mindset of growth and empowerment. It means transforming setbacks into setups for comebacks. It means refusing to let pain define you negatively and instead allowing it to shape you into a stronger version of yourself. The physical realm offers many examples. Athletes endure pain every day. Muscle soreness, injuries, exhaustion, but they push through because they know that's how improvement happens. Pain in training signals growth. Pain in competition sharpens focus. They don't run from pain, they run through it. This principle applies equally to mental and emotional pain. Whether it's rejection, failure, loss, or criticism, these forms of pain are signals that you're taking risks and expanding your comfort zone. Those who shy away from pain often stay stuck in familiar but limiting patterns. Those who face it head on unlock new levels of performance and fulfillment. In business, pain is often the result of setbacks, tough decisions, or long hours. Entrepreneurs and leaders who succeed are those who don't let pain break their spirit. They use every challenge as a stepping stone, learning from mistakes and adapting quickly. They know that pain is temporary, but quitting means permanent failure. They develop the mental toughness